Hey y'all, old chicken don't know what to think about that black bucket of fresh water. Making quick work of it. Did y'all have a good week? It's Friday. Before we get started, I'll explain that black barrel here in just a minute. Got both of them out here. But got to start off with a very, very special birthday wish. My youngest son, Lance, turned 15 today. I got tickled at him. He lives up in Illinois. I messaged him last night on Facebook and was hoorahing him about somebody having a birthday today, and he was going to be 15. He said, man, finally. Y'all remember looking forward to that next birthday at that age, 15, 16, 18, 21. Now here we are like, man, I've got another birthday coming. But I told him to enjoy it because they go faster and faster. Sure wish he was down here. I know he'd be right out in the thick of these chickens and that farm and all. So, Lance, buddy, happy birthday. Y'all help me wish him a happy birthday today. He's a special dude. Well, I pulled a man stereotype and was researching that compost tea, as most of y'all know, last week, and put some together out there, about 3 buckets of it. But I did what a man normally does. I didn't read all the instructions, just enough to get me in trouble. And I was messing with it and stirring it. And first of all, I probably shouldn't put any chicken poop in it. That really made it look rough. But as we progressed through the week, it was getting ranker and ranker. And I was thinking I was going to have to get a toxic mask or a hazmat suit or something to even mess with it. So I got to looking again, and the common school of thought's about 24 to 48 hours to let those enzymes work, and here I was cooking it for a week. So I had to redirect this morning, and I dumped most of it out, so there went my rainwater. But we started over. I did save some of it. Said it needed to have an earthy type smell. Well, that made sense. And concentrate like it was pretty ripe. But after I dumped it out, and I'll tell you, even now on this old place, of course, it's right there beside it, and I saved a little bit of it, some of the weaker stuff. But earthy, yeah, it smells like Tuesday morning after Woodstock around here. A little earthy, but it's not foul or bad. It's just earthy. I guess that's a good name for it. So I tried on side dressing on a few plants. We'll see what happens. And I had a good friend of mine say that them things will probably be 30 foot tall in the morning with all that nutrients. So in lieu of rainwater, of course you got tap water, but the chlorine and now the chloramine really puts the nix on any type of enzyme extraction. So we'll collect some more rainwater probably this evening. I may get wet here in a minute or tomorrow, but along the way, if you don't have the option for rainwater or a bulk of it, probably one of the best ways is ultraviolet rays, but they've gotten tricky on us, y'all. That chloramine is what they're using nowadays instead of chlorine, and that takes quite a time to off gas, if you would. So some of y'all already know about that. If you're going to try to tackle that, it's not the old school, just set some out in the jug and let the sun bake it a couple of days. You're going to have to stir it a little bit and give it about 10 to 14 days to really get all that chemical mess out of it so that you can use it to do compost tea if you so desire to do that. But we're ready for the weekend. Everything's in the ground. I've got about 10 more tomato plants. I got to get them from where the marigolds were at. That's a whole saga, but at least they're in the ground and used to the soil. So as you can see, that was supposed to have been a marigold in the line of the peas, but we all know that's a tomato. But I've got several of them scattered around, and we'll get them transferred over there in that weed guard where they belong pretty quick. But I had to get a few more marigold seeds. Now I'm catching up. I think I've got I needed 40, and I've got three coming up. But I saw ladybugs on the potatoes, and that was the whole point, so we should be good. But we've of course hadn't checked in on Hudson in a while. He's doing fine, just can't really let him roam much out here. He was on guard duty last night. Along the way, every now and then we'll put him out here under this old guard light. He's got a nice little dog house, and and keep the deer off the ground. Main thing I need him to do is just get out there and mark his territory, maybe one night a week, and that'll do all we need to do. But we tried him out on it last night. He did a fine job, and I went out there at daylight, and he roamed the pasture for a little while before I let the chickens out, so he had a big time. But that's my deer solution, so we'll see how it works. If I can get these peas up good, they're in the tender stage right now. All of them have sprouted, so this is one or two deer can take care of that whole garden in one night. So if we can get them on up the plants, we should be all right till time to make, and then that'll be another little threat time. But we'll figure it out. I had a pretty big surprise last couple of days, and taking a look at it, and I think I found my egg culprit. If y'all remember, yesterday egg production was down about 6. It wasn't down, they were here. I talk about it a lot, and I want to be crystal clear on my thoughts on commercial chicken farming. We've got to have it, and you, the public, have demanded it because of our insatiable appetite for cheap prices and quick food and all that. So I would never ever slam those commercial farmers. Man, I can't even imagine the sacrifices they go to, and my hat's way off to them. These chickens that I got last year were from a commercial operation. Of course, when you got 150,000 chickens in a house and you go to catch them all, I can't even catch 10. So it doesn't make sense to sit there and just cherry pick off in that big old house. So there's always a few left over, and they kind of just let them go. So anyway, I got a few of them, and they're genetically bred. Y'all asked for it. Yeah, you did. To be quick growers and hit the supermarket shelves real cheap. And I tell you, if you was eating free-range chickens all the time, you'd have to wait about 6 months for them to get any size to eat, and it'd probably cost you about $50 a hen at the store. So we've asked for this, but these old chickens have been with me almost a year now, and at first we didn't think they'd lay, and they do not make productive laying hens. I will say that. They do not know when to stop eating, and they eat and eat and eat. But it's just really cool to see God's master design never leave, no matter what genetic modifications sometimes can happen. Nature's always going to course correct, I guess. That's what I believe. And I had one of these big broilers go broody the other day. And I mean, I got so tickled. For those of you that don't know what broody is, when a hen starts sitting on her eggs to hatch it out. Now, I've got normal laying hens, and a couple of them will probably go broody. But since we got old Rooster Cogburn and Pistol Pete and Little Fella running around, these eggs are becoming fertile. And I saw her in the nest a couple of days ago, and they've done that before, and I thought they were just resting because there wasn't any eggs in there. But lo and behold, this morning I come out here and she had 6 eggs underneath her in that nesting box. Let me show you where she's at. I'm posting some updates. Now, this is a new journey for me. I've never hatched a clutch of chickens before, and it may not happen. She may not go the full term of 21 days like it's designed, but it's a pretty cool start. She these white chickens are really docile, but she was having none of me moving her this morning. But we got it done, and I tried to sneak in a few other eggs underneath her, but I think she figured it out. So we're still kind of playing the dance about which eggs she's going to sit on right now. So I don't know what I'm going to find in here. But I put her in her own little spot. It's safe from predators and the other chickens and roosters. And I'm going to get in here real quiet, y'all. This little old baby. Hang on. She is sitting on some eggs. How about that? Got a little setup right there. She's all nice and secure. And she's probably not going to talk to y'all today, so I ain't going to get much closer than that. But that is a big old white commercial broiler hatching out some eggs. So we'll see. I thought that was pretty cool after that incubator rip-off online I got. I guess the good Lord put it in that one's head that I needed an incubator, and we're going to hatch some chicks. So I'm pretty pretty stoked about that. They, if they go full term, they'll hatch in about 21 days, so that puts it about May 1st. And we'll see what happens. Isn't that cool? Jordan and I have got the fence just about right in the back, and I'm gonna let this next little storm pass through tomorrow, because it gets a little wet in that back if we're not careful. I don't want any mistakes with these Ben's Leghorns, but probably Monday they'll be moving to their big home in the back and start acting more like chickens, have a little freedom. So we're looking forward to that. Well, let me look at all who's commenting, and we'll call it an evening as we wrap up another week on the farm. Kimberly checked in with me, said I don't know if y'all seen that video. I'm gonna have a blast with that. I so love to, I love kids, and always have. Love being a goofball with them. So them second graders, I may be lower than their level, to be honest with you, but we're gonna have a good time as she teaches them different subjects throughout the year on the syllabus, and we'll take some of the general concepts and do a little fun video and see if we can help stick some of that learning. Y'all are welcome to share with, it's kind of geared for that age group, but next week is free enterprise, and that's going to be a fun one. So I'm studying now on how I'm going to present it in simplistic terms and not go off on a rant. But we'll get it done. Kim's good friend Donna, she's in physical education, and tell me this ain't physical education out here, so we may be doing some for them as well. That's my alma mater in that district, Huntsville Hornets, mean green. So I spent many a day playing on that little elementary field there. It was right up the street from the house at Estella Stewart on Batchard Drive in Huntsville, Texas. But anyway, don't hold that against them. All right, I got my glove on here. Let me see if I can get it off. I ain't gonna bite it because I've been messing with that toxicity stuff. Let me see if I can't scroll the phone. Here, let me do this. There we go. I'm looking at this cloud coming in. I won't gripe if it drops out, but I may get wet. Let's see who all's on real quick. There's Patrice. How are you, ma'am? And Margaret says happy birthday to Lance. That's cool. Miss Chris King is on. Y'all remember that family in your prayers. I won't go into a lot of detail, but they've passed a milestone tragedy in the passing on of a parent. And she's a dear friend, has been for several years. And never, whether it's expected or not, it's always a tough road to walk. So remember my Cajun pirate friend and her family for peace and comfort over the next few days as they deal with that great loss. There's my Aunt Pat, and let's see, everybody's saying happy birthday. Appreciate that for Lance. There's Miss Carla and Maria. There's a birthday wish from Arkansas, Lance, and Miss Brenda. And Miss Melinda's checking in. Saw your first wasp here today, had a winter coat on. Oh my goodness. I think I've killed about 30. Well, now see there, Melinda, you done called them up. See that thing? Where'd he go? We'll see if he'll sting the phone. There he is. Well, look at there. Now he's gonna make me get right quick. All right, that's enough of the wasp. See what you did, call that thing up. It'll make you get right quick. There's Miss Joanne Smith. That's right, I am learning as I go. It won't be, I won't have to Google it after this round. it'll be experience instead of book knowledge, I guess. There's Miss Karen and Carrie. How are you? Let's see who else is on here. There's Donna from Pensacola and Joyce. Miss Susan's checking in. There's my buddy Bruce. He and I were talking about that old chemical container up there and whether or not we can use it. And I think I've got some ideas on it. We was able to find out what was in it, and it wasn't too awful bad. So it's been out there a decade. We'll see what happens. My cousin Lufkin Way, a pretty educated farmer in himself, he said triple wash it, put some water in it, and test it out on the frogs. If the frogs live, then you're good to go. Like the canary in the coal mine, he said. Y'all remember that? Send that canary. When the canary stops chirping, y'all better get out of there. So we'll see. I'm not ready to put it on the vegetables yet, but we'll see what goes on. Susan says getting storms tonight. Yeah, we need the rain. Coyotes or bobcats got all my... Oh my goodness, Susan, that's horrible. That is horrible. Yep, new baby's on the way. There's Miss Mary checking in. I'm trying to get Miss Shelley Lee Gary. Yeah, well, I've never been through the process of the hatch, so we'll see how I do. I was moving them eggs this morning and got a little bit rambunctious, and one of them's going to have to be fried because it got a little crack in it. But it wasn't but a day. Anyway, hate to admit that, but I got to slow down a little bit. There's Miss Teresa, Miss Ladina. How are you, ma'am? Carolyn, yes, ma'am, I am. As far as selling the eggs, everybody does them $3 a dozen, and I'll do that, but I think it's a better value at $4 for 18, and I've got plenty. I'd sold out last week, and now I guess it's, I was going to say chicken or feathers, but not to be punny. It's feast or famine. Either I'm sold out or got too many. I think we got about 4 days worth in there, so 4 of them's 20. That's a good stack of eggs in there. So if you know anybody wants some, come on and get them. You're a good friend. You're welcome just to have some, as much as you've supported and helped out. So, but yes, we are selling the eggs. Mr. Gary, thank you. Yes, ma'am, be the light, Margaret. That's right. There's Patty in Parker County. Miss Charlotte, how are you? And Joyce. Yep, that's right, Carolyn. We come from the same area there. Patricia says hello. Susan sending condolences. And Susan's buying more chickens. Well, if you was any closer, I'd have a few I could probably let you have. Hope to have some hatching out about May 1st. But I guess that'll do it for this evening's ramble. But we're going to get some of these weeds knocked down next week. Finally got all my trees out in the pasture, save a couple that needed trimmed. I mean, it looks like a whole different place out there without all that undergrowth underneath it. I could have been done in about 2 hours with a chainsaw, but I was sitting there chopping on it with a machete at one point, and I just took my time. I'm like, it'll get done, just one chop at a time. No need to rush it. So we set it back about 20 years worth of growth, so it'll take it a while for it to catch back up to me again. That's all right too. Y'all have a good evening. Be the light, and hope you have a great weekend. It's going to be a good one if we make it right. And be safe with this storm coming through tomorrow. I know our neighbors to the east over border Louisiana, Jasper up through that way, may have a mainly northeast there. Got pretty severe weather threat over the next 24, 48 hours. So everybody stay wary. Ain't no sense in panicking, but you need to be aware. All right, y'all have a good evening. Be the light. We'll talk with you later.